Let me just get my stream markers set up and we are going to get started, guys. I hope you had an awesome Thanksgiving break, but it is Monday now and it's time to get back to business Mondays. So remember in the group, Facebook, the Ballers group, I should make a link for that. I have another link set up, but basically if you go to links.blendlogic.com/I-am-a-baller, let me change that for you guys so you guys can see. So here's one link. This one's hidden right now. Let me rename this to GSuite. So I'm always trying to get better, trying to improve how I could help you guys. That's weird. Let me copy this. Probably should have done this before the stream, but no big deal in making things as you do them live. So here is the Facebook group. I highly encourage you guys join. Basically, I am a baller. It's the link down here, links.blendlogic.com/I-am-a-baller. Be sure to join this group, guys. If you're joining hashtag live, hashtag replay, essentially in that group, anyone who joins, you can only do this on Facebook, is if you join live, I highly encourage you guys to participate live. If you join on replay, let the people know that you're not watching this live, you're watching it on replay. And so if you find anything of value, hashtag value bomb, so that others who watch it later on in the future can easily find the highlights. So that's the link. This is what we're going to be covering. I just want to send a restream chat out. So hashtag live. Thanks for joining, fam. So yeah, you can see, like, as a one-man production crew growing your digital marketing agency, one of the coolest things I say you should start doing is, just going live. Especially, I target digital basketball trainers or basketball trainers trying to improve their business by utilizing digital marketing assets or tools. And so hopefully by showing this, it breaks away those limiting beliefs you have that, you have to have a whole team involved. You have to have a whole system in place. And really, you do have to have a system. You have to build the positive habits. But what I want to encourage you and showcase is, everything I do for my personal brand this is just me doing it, right? I'm a one-man guy who's, like, I do have interns who help with the client side, but I think one of the limiting beliefs that people have is, they think that I know too much technology or it's something that they can't learn and do themselves. So I have to put this content out there so you guys can, can start executing. So I'm going to start talking about this high-level overview. One of the things, of course, you could join this is the what you're seeing on the screen is the Jamboard live. So it's the same links and then put live jam, I think. So that's the link for that. And I'm going to start talking about it. So where is where it showcases how long I've been streaming for. Yeah, so I'm going 4 minutes. So this is starting at 4 minutes. Anyone watching wants to see, or when I leave comments, you'll see why I start doing this, and I'll put the end time so you could get straight to the point. Or sometimes you guys don't like me rambling on, but that's how it has to be. So what am I going to talk about? The high level overview is how you can start importing. Once you guys get new clients, there's a system in place that I use that really helps me get all the documents across to all the people, and I use GSuite to do that. So I find that Google, and especially with the collaboration you can do with Google Drive, is so awesome. So I have in my own folder, you can see the setup, BLENDLOGIC, client private folder, template, import for new clients. A lot of this came from the work I've done from previous clients. And what I do here is I basically just, every time a new client is onboarded, I just copy this folder and then I paste it, and then I change, the name. I say, who's the client? And something I want to showcase to you guys is you actually can't copy folders. Like, one of the big things, if you guys are trying to, do this yourself, you can't copy folders in in Google, but you need to download this thing called the Google Drive for your Windows or Mac. And this is where you can start copying folders and easily put them into, like, you just use your Windows to do it. So that is a free tip for you guys. add that to stream marker so that I could go back and make highlights for you guys. So what do I have inside my template folder? I have the login credentials for each client. This is a simple Google sheet that showcases, you know, what their login credentials are for their website, ClickFunnels, anything that they are doing business with BLENDLOGIC. The second thing I have is marketing material. So I organize it in these folders, copy being written, text, images, anything. Like the client has shared access to this. So I tell them, hey, anything in the Google Drive, if it's not there, there's a bottleneck. Because if you're emailing me or you're texting me any of this stuff, I'm not going to see it. Or I'm busy doing my own thing that, you know, the team is here to help you execute. So it's in your best interest to use, you know, put them in the marketing materials folder so that the whole team sees it and is able to, you know, execute on that. Logos, videos, all the same. So in the meeting notes, so when I do my consultations, I typically leave, I write a Google sheet at the same time I'm doing them. So you could watch my previous consultations. And when I do that, I send them afterwards an email or through Slack. I say, hey, here's the meeting notes I took. Feel free to add anything on your end that you think is important. So I put my notes, her notes, or whoever the client is. And then we go back from there and circle back. So that is what I do there. Thanks for joining live. Someone joined live. Remember to leave chats. Really helps out the stream. Helps out the business. Appreciate you guys, all your support. So after meeting notes, we also have onboarding materials. So this is a cool thing is when they're a new client, there's a lot of little things that you know, that I use as my system that they need to get adherence to. So you could see, I don't know, there's an untitled document. I don't know what's here. Let me see. How to work with BLENDLOGIC. So you can see, like, the aim is to scale. So for those of you, like, who don't get it, they're like, hey, why is this guy doing live streams? Why is this guy, you know, making videos? It's because I have to scale every time I get new clients. So I might as well document what it's like to work with BLENDLOGIC, create videos, create onboarding videos, showcase how to use the whole thing. Right, all this stuff, there's all videos in here, or I'm making them still, like how to use Trello, all that stuff. Right, so I wrote out this whole thing that every client gets, and this is what I use for just templating. Right, I think if you guys have worked at a job before, you realize that there's a lot of people, and you may need to, you know, have your boss show you the ropes on the job training. Well, especially as a digital marketer, right, you have to use digital tools. So I think this is a really underutilized asset that people are sleeping on. So let me do the toggle real quick, track my time. Okay, so here I just list out, like, hey, here's how to get the system done. We have Trello boards. You guys can assign things, assign them to members, you know, what to expect from a work log, and you know, and then what the Trello is. So I'm going to go deeper dive into this, but basically you could see that I created a document about how to, you know, get work done with BLENDLOGIC. So I'm going to create a new, and let's talk about GSuite deep dive, or kind of deep dive. Right, so I start off with templates. Right, so template folder, and that has everything. All I have to do is copy and paste, and then all the onboarding documents, right? All the instructions, it's all been made before, and so I write content or I make documentation so that all they have to do is read it, look at it, and they'll understand this is what it's going to be like working for BLENDLOGIC or working with BLENDLOGIC. So I find that, you know, creating videos, creating as much documentation as possible helps the client really understand, like, okay, if I, like, hopefully what the aim is, if you're viewing this as a client or you're viewing this as an agency owner, it's like, dude, everything comes down to systems, right? And there's something called like Six Sigma systems, where you can think of it as like when an airplane takes off, right? The automated systems are in place, and if one system fails, then there's backup systems, and there's so many backup systems so that, you know, ideally the pilot doesn't really have to do anything. He just hits a button and flies off, and it takes care of itself, right? So I think there's a big thing where people are looking for passive income, right? And the only way to get passive income, how to get passive money, is you have to make systems, or you have to document stuff. Right, so we live in a time where there's so much opportunity for you guys to make Google Sheets, to make Google Drives, to make videos. And it all should help you guys, you know. I mean, in the end, for me, like the biggest motivation is so I don't say the same things like over and over again, right? Like they could get a video, a client-facing video of the CEO of a company making them videos. I'll do like a short, something you could try doing is custom intros and outros. And then you could use Loom to screen share or screen record. Okay, so that is how I do a GSuite overview, right? So let me go back here. I ended this at, what's the time? 12:28. All right, so anything about that from a high-level overview of using GSuite. And I guess I also covered, I guess I wasn't on track. This also goes here as well. All right, so I covered this. Basically, to recap for you guys, I have a template that everything goes to the new client, everything that a new client would need. And then you use the Windows backup and sync right here. So it's on the bottom, backup and sync. And basically, you would just copy this, paste it, change the name of to what the client is, and then share the drive with them, pretty much. Something that I want to show you is like when you do proposals, I like putting service agreement templates and stuff like that. So I guess with this one, since this is, I don't need this. All right, so here's a template. I mean, I think everything you guys should try to do as much work as possible, and then when it's time to send out the stuff, you just adjust and change. So this is something I do for my business. Is every time a client, I send them a service agreement, you just, it's literally like anything that shows purple still is you haven't changed it yet, and then it just streamlines the process. So I think for a lot of you guys, you should try to focus on that. So I think one of my interns is on the BLENDLOGIC page. He said scale, scale, scale. Yeah, so I guess you may have missed it. I try to, you know, make these live streams, these solo ones, just me showcasing what one guy could do. I guess for future reference, like if you're gonna be posting intern or not, you should post on your personal one. And then later in the replay, that's when I want you to go back and leave comments on highlights. So I'm gonna leave a tag here called intern notes. Intern notes. Don't use business to chat. All right, so that was in 1444. Let me write that. 1444. Okay, so let's keep going. So, whoa, what the heck? So I'm going to start talking about Trello, Slack, GSuite, a high-level overview. Right, so this is starting at 15:10. Okay, so basically, that whole document I showed you how to work with BLENDLOGIC is a whole system in place that I use to, like, every month I have a Trello board, and it's so easy to have Trello boards. And all you do is you just invite people. I have myself or a project manager would be here. I have the BLENDLOGIC support Trello, so they can tag I tag the support team and the group aliases, so that anytime assignment is done, I say, hey, you've been tagged, they want a request, let's knock it out. And then the two people, so this is one of my clients, Mark My Roots. We've been working since, I think 2 weeks ago. If you guys have been following the stream, we closed them on a website deal. And so I think one of the coolest things is showcasing just straight up, like, how do I lock this? Lock sources. It's basically just showcasing to you guys, you know, you guys are curious how to run a business, how to grow, scale your business. Like this is, I mean, unless you guys find a better way, like that's why I'm encouraging you guys to at least try this stuff, and then if you start realizing there's areas of the system that could be improved, like if you're using this in the group or whatever you're doing, like please share feedback on how this is working out for you. You have to understand, like for me, that's the main goal, is to share feedback, is be like, okay, hey guys, I'm trying to build a business, I'm trying to scale, so this is what I found is working, is using Trello, Slack, and Google Drive. And yeah, so high level overview, let's keep going. Each card they could put is like a request that they could use. So if they have a new issue, they could just put it here, say, hey, we want this done, put a description. I've explained it to them in this card of like, hey, how to put new requests. So let's take a look at the shipping rates, right? So we had an issue where we had to figure out how to basically code into the system like dynamic shipping rates. So if you guys are trying to do this in WooCommerce, pay attention, because this could help you out. So let me type in deep dive WooCommerce. All right, so this is what I'm going to be talking about. So basically, like when they had shipping, we were migrating from their site on Etsy. So you went to Etsy to WordPress. And we had a condition in shipping where it was basically you had small boxes, medium boxes, and large boxes. And basically, to go, like, without going too deep into the algorithm, she had a certain amount of things that could fit in a small box, so that should be a small shipping rate. It's like $7, I don't know, $12 and $15. And then, so we had the item set, right? If we knew which item to do, we could easily just put it in WooCommerce and say, okay, let's charge that amount. But we also had a condition where it was free shipping. Right, so it's free if your order's over 50, and then we also had a condition where it's large if it's, I guess, if it's under 50 and you have more than 2 items. Right, so you could either do this multiple ways. You could say like, hey, is my cart over 2 items? Technically, I wanted to do it for the least amount of resources possible. So there's a free WooCommerce plugin called Advanced Shipping Rates. And basically what we did is we said, hey, okay, if the second highest item, this is like a sorting problem basically, if you guys have done math or any of your math problems classes, basically the second cheapest item is $15. So anything over $15 has to mean that they have mixed and matched, right? Because if your cheapest item is like $7 and the second cheapest thing is $15, there's no way that you could have a $16 cart unless you've mixed and matched. So basically, if it's over $16, then according to what the system's in place and the algorithms in place, it has to, this is annoying me, it has to be more than 2 or mix and match. And basically, I explained it here, but if we could take a look at the project work log. So every time in Trello, I say, here's some attachments. Here's our client discussions, which is, hey, you have anything you want to give us feedback on? I'll show you soon in the Slack. We have a project work log, so we have the issue, the solution. We use Drive to keep all of the conversations and organized. Basically, we're just like, hey, this is the solution we came up with. This is some screenshots of it. Do you want us to implement? And then later, do you want us to test it? Right. So now in this one, it's in the testing phase. Like we brainstormed the solution, we went to implementation. Now it's testing. And yeah, so and then I put the current discussions, anything that they leave comments on. So in GSuite, you leave comments like this and type. I find that sometimes it gets cluttered, so I put them down in the bottom client discussion or client feedback. And I just try to keep this as organized as possible. So anytime a comment gets resolved, where we figure out that discussion thread, I add it to the bottom so they can see like, hey, we're still paying attention. So that is how I use Trello and Google Suite. And the last thing is you could actually integrate Slack into a client discussion. So if I click this link, it would lead here. So there were no client discussions. They're not actually here yet. So you just like any updates on testing. Right, so I just started implementing the system, so I still need to get all my old clients on this. You can see that like when I scale, you know, there's new systems I learn, new ways to run my business, and so right now I'm just doing it with the latest clients I've had. But I need to go back with like Jordan, David, you know, Secret Trainer, Mike Teller, and basically be like, yo, let's take it to the next level. Let's start streamlining stuff. Let's start keeping track of what we've been doing, what our goals are, what we want to accomplish. Right, we have you know, we have a project plan. So let's hit that 2008 project plan. Every month we'll have a new Trello board. We'll see what we're hitting, see what we're accomplishing. And yeah, this also helps like with the team when you're scaling, because when you have a support group alias, you can basically just say, hey, you've been tagged, you have access to the email, like anything the client is tagging you on, let's get it resolved. So I think that covers everything. When did I end this? The time is now 22:48. So again, you know, I like talking about like, you know, starting out with just as much value that can help you guys improve your systems. So high level overview, I use GSuite and I connect it with Slack and Trello. Trello is where the client, and I even use this, I have my own internal BLENDLOGIC Trello, like for my interns or everyone on my team, say, hey, this is what we need to improve, right? Because you can't always be working in the business, you have to be working on the business. And especially as being like the principal, the CEO, you have to, you know, be able to execute as fast as possible, and also make sure that the people under you understand the vision that you're building with your company, and the vision that, you know, like I can't manage everyone, but I can manage the project managers, right? And make sure that every intern underneath them, or every, you know, support level 2, support level 3, like whatever levels, you know, that the experienced hires or new hires have, they understand like what we're building with this company, right? So like in my opinion, from how I've scaled my business, it has to go this way so that you can, right, like the easiest way is through video and through documentation. So you have to realize like what you guys see publicly and what I'm executing on from a Facebook group standpoint is an execution of systems that I've already put in place for myself and for my business. And everything has to start internally, right? So when I start tracking my time, and when I start making these systems, when I show, like if I make videos on how to make Instagram highlights, or how to make I guess how to do video editing, how to do like even make these systems, how to interview, how to like etc. I'm just trying to improve on stuff that I've learned working for other businesses, where, you know, it was always like, why is this guy at the top, right? Like, why am I taking orders from this dude? Is he like, one of the biggest things that I think hurts, I guess, congruence in the team is people underneath thinking that, you know, the guy above you shouldn't be there. And so if I just make videos and say, hey, look, this is how fast I do it. This is like, you don't have to work this fast. I've been doing this for a while. I have more experience. I have more like mental training technically, like on some other stuff. But this is how I do it. And you could pause this video at any time. You can go back, take notes, right? Work at your own speed. But at this level, right, that whatever you, like technically the levels are your pay grade, like this is how much work I expect you to get done. And if you showcase that to them, and then you also showcase to your clients, like, hey, this is how my whole business is run, right? Like, the whole goal is to be as transparent as possible, right? There's no tricks. There's no, I'm not hiding anything under a curtain, right? I could do all the work if I wanted to, but I have to do it this way because I only have a certain amount of time in a day, and I need to, as a company and as like the leader of a company, I need to share or get the vision across to, you know, bring in more clients, to get the sales team on board of like, you know, why we're selling what we're selling, right? In terms of like implementing, creating these digital marketing strategies and systems, it's so that the like other entrepreneurs or other people who believe in what I believe, that you can shape the world if you just have faith in yourself and faith in others, is a very powerful thing. And that's the whole thing behind BLENDLOGIC, is to make you guys realize that anything that you wanted to do, like a lot of it comes from lack of confidence in yourself. So one way that I found to gain confidence is if I had someone showing me how to do it, to hold my hand, right? And either they've recorded breadcrumb videos and like, hey, here's videos, I have training, I have all this stuff you guys could use. Or like if it's at a point where it's like, okay, these video series aren't helping, I need like in-hand experience, then there's the done for you model where we're like, hey, we make everything, we show you how we did it, and we record it. If you ever want to work with another company, or you ever want to hire in-house, this is how it's done. So the aims of these like value business and everyone in this group is like, you have to realize that by exposing myself, by showcasing what I do for a business, it's this real mentality that I think people don't want to do this because they're afraid that the competition will do it better than them. Right? There's this belief that, hey, if I show you guys what I'm doing, anyone could do it, right? And I guess the limiting belief is that you don't believe in your abundance mentality, that you will keep improving, that you can like keep expanding the gap, right? And I think one of the biggest things that I find hurts people in growing their business is they think that when they get in early, or they get in because they're there first, they should always be at the top. But I think this is like a foundation of success, keys to success is you always have to be like trying to go 100%. And an analogy I use is like, I don't know if you guys like video games or play like a CPUs or graphics cards, but basically, if you have certain frame rates, you have a graphics card that's working 100% to its capacity. And people work with like one hand behind their back or two hands behind their back. And basically if you have that in like a computer system, you're not operating as efficiently. It takes you longer to do things. Like you start getting, I don't know if you have watched a video, it's really choppy, or if you played a video game, you get bad frame rates, right? And so that's like the analogy in life, is people, they don't execute 100% every day because they feel like they have to have reservation. They have to pull their punches. They have to hold things back, because if they don't showcase to everyone, right, then they think that the competition is going to overtake them. Like if I make them learn my systems quicker, they're going to get better than me. And the thing is, like, you want people to get better than you, because the end goal is to help your clients. It's not about me, it's not about you. Dude, it's about helping other people. And so if I teach my interns, or I teach other digital marketing agencies how to run stuff better, like the client has free choice of who they want to work with. And if they go to another client, it's just the foundation in my head, like, okay, I'm not good, or I'm not as good as this guy. So like, I need to keep executing every day. I need to keep getting better, keep diving deep. And yeah, I mean, like, basically you guys know how at the end of my videos, I always try to hit you guys with that motivation, right? Because that's what we need, right? We need that. You need that motivation. You need that experience. That's what I'm finding in life and with my clients is I could make the stuff for you all day. I could make these documents all day. I could make videos, show you how to do it. But if you don't have the vision in place, like, you're not going to watch the documents. You're not going to do it yourself. And so, wherever you guys are at in your own life journey, I find that the people who are executing, they have that vision of themselves, and they have the confidence to take stories of success that they've had before and you realize that they can implement it in their business today. I'm working on a new keys to success on Kobe Bryant, and basically he talks about how it's more than the game of basketball, right? That there's lessons that you could learn from anything you do, and it can apply to another aspect in your life, right? So if you can learn how to, like, for me, like, I learned how to take control of my diet, of my mentality, of my, like, in fitness. And because I was able to do that, I'm like, there's other aspects in life that I could probably apply these, like, I could break down, reverse engineer. Why was I successful in being able to lift more? Because I went in every day, I controlled my eating. Like, everything's about setting boundaries, right? Okay, so what's the next thing that I have weak spot in that I could improve? Right, so now it's like, okay, if I do this live streaming every day, or if I go live, well, how can I improve? How can I get more people aware of BlendLogic? How can I help more people, you know, share their vision? And a lot of it is like, I have to do these live streams for you guys so that, like a step below is that you guys want to make videos and edit them. And some of you are even too afraid to make videos, even though you can edit them, right? So I have to go live where there's no edits and there's no, right, to put myself out there so that you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Because I realize that there's people who want to be doing live streams, or they want to be, like, speaking, or they want to even get their first client as a web designer, right? Because I started as a web designer. And so I tell you how it was for me so that hopefully you could execute faster, right? Like for me, it was like, okay, how do I actually showcase to people my worth as a quote unquote, my value as a web designer? I have to get validation. So I'll work for free. I'll do as much as I can so that I can have a portfolio. And like, if you've never heard that before, you'll just keep circling in your head, like, why are these people not buying from me? Why are these people not buying from me? I know I'm a good designer, quote unquote, right? But you haven't validated it into the market, right? And so for Jordan Lawley, I was just like, literally worked for him for a year. And then he said, hey, I feel bad that you're doing all this stuff and I'm not paying you. So I was just like, okay. And then he's like, let me start paying you. And I was like, okay. And he just started paying me, right? So yeah, like I think that's a mindset switch that you guys should have, is stop thinking you deserve stuff and the things in your head that, oh, you can make it happen, and instead show people that you are making it happen or are trying to make it happen, right? Because there's such an allure to, I guess, mentally stimulating your brain to be like, oh, I'm going to be so great. When instead you should be, just executing and being like, okay, like, here's feedback because of stuff I've put out in the market. So that is some live stream motivation for you guys. Remember, if you guys have any questions, to hit me up. I have a link here, blendlogic.com, links.blendlogic.com/GSuite. If you guys want to learn more about GSuite, I'm seeing like who's interested. I'm thinking about making more content and more deep dives into that program. And I want to give a shout out to Jared. He was the one who helped me with these onboarding materials. So here, like the service agreement. So let me see if I could pull up Jared Steffs. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, dude. This dude is straight crushing it. Big inspiration that helped me. He helped me with these templates. You guys can check him out. DOT right here. DOT Jared Steffs. Check out his digital lifestyle community. You'll kind of see that I model stuff after him because like he's been a mentor to me. I've seen what he's been doing live. He just had a really sick launch of his WordPress side hustle and his agency Kickstarter. So I'm only improving on the shoulders of giants, right? I'm only using my own systems, such as Trello, such as, Slack, because I've been able to catch up because of what others have done for me. And so you have to realize, like, dude, I'm passing on what's working for me, and then like if it hasn't worked for me, I just want to be transparent and be like, hey, I tried this, it didn't work, but maybe it could work for you. And so now I do like there's stuff that I've built upon. Like I'm doing lives, but I'm doing jam boards. I'm doing Q&As through Twitch and hard coding it into the video so that you guys, whoever's joining live, which it seems like no one joined today. And like, that's what happens, right? You have to be able to be like, you want to build a tribe, you want to build a community, you have to realize that you have to get good so that people start listening, right? So right now it's like, today after, I'm going to say hashtag team replay for any value bombs, right? Like, you have to be able to just keep speaking and keep talking, speak your truth, anything. Like, it doesn't matter who watches it live because they can always watch on replay, right? And to think that you would only share knowledge with people who only join live is absurd, right? I have to be willing to showcase, because I've been in a position where I built, like, this took 8 years coming to build this mental fortitude to not be embarrassed or not be shy about going live, to learn these systems, to implement systems for myself and build good habits. And so I want you guys realizing, like, dude, it's gonna be more than just the, like, any course I release, any in-person business coaching. It's like, I could only a good business I just came across was 90-10, and they said that, hey, 10% comes from us and the systems that we share with you, but the other 90% comes from you executing on what we tell you to do, right? And even in that 90%, I think a lot of times in life it's the same thing, like either 80-20 or 90-10 Pareto efficiency. It's like, dude, 10% is the technical and 90% is the mindset, right? Like, any of the stuff I show you, like, any of you guys could pick this up. Like there's so much material out there, and there's so much time for you to practice and learn the muscle memory to, to do this stuff. But 90% is the mental, to be like, do I want to commit to this? Do I want to learn it? Like, what am I doing this for? And there's so many things that block people, right, from executing, because they think that, that's lucky for Alan that he's not shy, or lucky for Alan that he doesn't have, doubts, or that he can say stuff without messing up, right? Like, watch my old streams. Like, I stutter, I mess up. Like, I've had a stream cut off because I turned off my computer. It's just, every day is an opportunity to execute and get better at freeform association and be able to say things off the top of my mind, so that, if you guys ever wonder, my goal is to speak on stage and all this stuff, right? Like, how did he get to a position where he's speaking on stage and then saying stuff so well, like, it doesn't seem like he memorized everything, but it's so good, right? Of course, I'm projecting how I'm going to be on stage. Right? It's because I practice on these live streams. I practice before speaking to a crowd, whether it's, here in my room, or anytime I execute outside of this room. It's like, anyone's an opportunity to share. So I'm gonna end this stream. One of my friends is coming over who helped me with crypto. I want to go back over what I covered so that, you guys can go back. So what time is it? It's 38:36. Recap at 38:36. So that's cool. It's showing it there. So I did this high-level overview, started at 5 minutes. Basically, I talked about how to use the systems that I use, GSuite, Trello, Slack, how to combine it all together. I went deep dive into this. This is the templates that I use for new clients. Right? Anytime I have a new client, I just copy this folder. Remember, guys, you cannot copy folders in Google Drive from the website interface. You have to use this backup and sync, and it goes on my Windows. I could copy, paste it, change it, the folder name to be the client name, and then share with them. Right? I share with my clients who do I want access to this Google Drive. So that's how I use it to scale my business. And then I showcase to you guys, this is the client I had picked up in November. Google board, when they first join in, Trello board, hey, read this, right? And you have to understand, like, I could easily just copy this board, right? I think it's over here. Copy this board, and the next time I have a new client, it's like, okay, this is already gonna be set up for me. I don't have to type this anymore. I don't have to take pictures anymore, right? It's like, for me, it's like, if you pick up anything from this, it's like, realize that you could do work once and monetize the work you've already done, right? Like, I don't have to write service agreements anymore. I literally just hit Control F and change the name, right? I change the name of the client. Someone's calling me. I am in a live stream, right? These jam boards, these things you're watching, right? It's like, if anyone wants to work with BLENDLOGIC, I don't have to explain how to work for BLENDLOGIC, right? In this template, I show onboarding materials, how to work with BLENDLOGIC, because they've already seen these live streams, so they already know the systems that I'm going to be using, right? I'm going to be using Google Drive, Slack, and Trello, so anyone who watches this, whatever, can be like, oh, okay, so this is what I could expect if I work with Alan, if I work with BLENDLOGIC. If I want to turn my dreams into reality and stop thinking in my head, like, hey, what if I learned digital marketing, right? How awesome it would be, but I don't know how to do this stuff, so, right? And then instead of having that mindset, I'm like, okay, let me work with someone who knows how to do it and executes. All right, so I went over that. Remember, check out Jared's stuff if you want that service template. And then yeah, I showed you how to do it, right? So every time I make a board, I attach the Slack link, the internal Slack link, and then the project work log. And a project work log is where I try to go deep and say like, okay, here's the issue, here's our proposed solution. Do you have any feedback? How do I see comments that were... Right, so you can see here, like we had this whole list of comments that I've closed, right? And we had these discussions, and I try to clean it up so that anyone watching this could be like, okay, like how did they come up with a solution? What were the old comments, right? All these feedback stuff I leave so that anyone who onboards with BlendLogic can quickly like see what it's like to go from 0 to 100 and like ramp up, right? If you brought on board as an intern or you're brought on board as a funnel hacker, like you gotta have to learn how I've run my systems. Right? So by making Slack channels, and here's the internal ones. I think a cool thing you could do is when you integrate, I didn't show this, is you could do Trello and then like search a card, right? So any of these cards I have, right, I could say like product images, right? Search product. It tells you, hey, here's the cards you have on Trello. And then if you do show in channel, you could start making a thread on it, right? So here's the thread I did on shipping, and we're using Slack. The reason I use Slack is because anyone could search. So if you had, you'd be like, oh, I remember we talked about it. When did this happen? Slack is really good for searching, right? So now we have shipping rates. You could even click back and see what we're talking about on Trello. It brings up what I was just showing you guys, right? And I use these to do tasks, right? And I use Slack because you can see here on the Trello comments, it goes like it doesn't do it top to bottom. It goes bottom up. So you have to like scroll from the bottom and kind of piece together what's happening. So that's also why I use project work log, is because if I don't want to read all these comments, I basically create a document that streamlines like the interpretation of what's happening. So anyone comes in here, it's like, okay, we need to implement variable shipping rates. And let me just browse some discussions, like what was tried before, what did we do before. So again, like, dude, if you guys could make a better system, like, dude, come on my stream and show me, right? Come on my stream, and I'd be glad to share with you guys, like, or share my audience, or as I grow my audience, you know, you and what you're able to offer. But until then, right, I'm always trying to improve and share with you guys how to do stuff. So that's it, guys. That's how to work with BlendLogic if you come on as a client, and if you work for me or work with me, right, whatever, right, this is... If you're going to be an intern, whatever you guys are going to be, like, this is how we do client fulfillment. Trello board, and the Slack, right? I just showed you the attachments with Google Drive to dive deep, right? So recap at 38:36. That was a 6-minute recap. No one's joining live, so I won't do a QA. And one of my friends is coming. It's 1 o'clock, so I got to go. Hashtag team replay. Drop some hashtag value bombs for anyone to see what I was talking about. Remember, that only works on the digital marketing groups. So let me do one last thing, one last shout out. Be sure to check out GSuite on that link below. If you sign up for GSuite and you use my link, I'll be happy to do a deep consultation session with you, like 1 hour. I'd even be happy to share. I'll share with you those template files so that you can start doing it faster, right? Like, so use that link below. If you want that, that's a special offer I'm giving to you guys. I am a baller right here. links.blendlogic.com/I am a baller. You can go in my Facebook group, leave replays. So if you watch this video, right, so here's the last one I did. And there's sirens going off outside. There's some shady shit going on. So I filmed the last one on Friday. This is me. And again, look at these comments that make it easier for you guys to see, right? So this is what I do. So I want to be full transparency. Anything that I do with myself, I'm going to start listing as Alan Nafferetti. Anything my team does, it's going to say BlendLogic, right? So I actually did this. I don't know why I used BlendLogic, whatever. And it tells me, right? I'll show you. Like, here it says commented by Alan. But if my intern did it, I would see who did it, right? So that is the power of Facebook, like, leaving comments. Is like, dude, if someone watches this 2 years from now, they'll see this and be like, huh, like, that's kind of cool that someone left comments for me to take away main points, right? And then let's say that viewer decides to leave his own comment, right? And then the next person who comes, the third person who comes, will be like, huh, not only did Alan leave comments, this random dude left comments, and like it just builds, dude. It's an opportunity to snowball, right? So I want you guys seeing that, dude. It's this stuff I'm doing with live streams is because I've used videos and documents in GSuite to streamline my business, and I'm so positive in this solution I have. Though I'm open to, seeing how it can be streamlined by encouraging you guys to make a video or showcase to me how you could do it better. Hashtag value bomb for my team replay. I'm out. And again, I said I would do it as Alan. So yep, that's me leaving a comment on my own stream. Yeah, let me show you guys some meta stuff, right? Trello. I want to show you, because I have it here on my Mac, on my right screen, my internal board. So here is my implementing my live stream checklist. Every time I go pre-live stream, this is what I have to do. Post live stream, this is what I'm gonna do afterwards. Whether I do this or my client or my interns do this, it's like, dude, if I'm using it for my own business, you guys should probably be using it for your own business as well. So yeah, pretty dope stuff. Just dropped some straight value for you guys. One of my ads got approved. I'm running for one of my clients. So remember, guys, digital marketing baller groups. This one's targeted specifically towards basketball trainers to help you improve your business. And for everyone like questioning and saying like, well, Alan, this stuff has been done before in like accelerators or like if you work for a startup and I came to a startup and I said, hey, use Trello, Slack, dude, I'd be laughed out of the room because that has been going on for like 10 years now, right? But you have to understand, like, what I'm doing is something that you could do for whatever niche you guys like or whatever industry you want. So you take something that you think is positive and works and just bring it to another industry. All right, so people go all the time, go from big cities and take that to like smaller cities, right? So I could take this and go to Augusta and try to market that area, right? Or what I'm doing is I'm taking it like digital marketing startup accelerators. I'm taking the systems in place, how to grow a business, like a big startup business, an app business, and then bring it to basketball trainers, because to me it's like that's a blue ocean strategy, right, from that book I've always mentioned, right? So like to think that you can't do it yourself is because I have read books and knowledge and studied the market that I know that, like, dude, that's how Red Bull started. Red Bull took the guarana drinks from Japan and brought it to Austria, and now it's a billion-dollar company, right? So I have confidence in the proven model, right? But I just have to now execute it to bring it to basketball trainers, which is something I have high vertical in and high like passion for. So maybe my Twitch went down, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining. It is November 26th. It's almost December. You got 1 month left in 2018. Let's knock out our goals. Like I promise you, the best time to start is now. If you think that all of this is over your head and you wish you learned this earlier, like, don't, dude. That stopped me from making content when I should have been making content, from making live streams when I should have been making live streams. Like, start today. There's no, like, it's good and bad. There's no barrier to entry. The only barrier to entry to get into this live stream market is the mental beliefs that you have of whether or not you can make it, right? If you believe you can make it, you've already overcome like a huge thing that stops people from going live, or a huge thing that stops people from building their business. And like, that's really all I have to share is like if everyone could go live, like, you would want to be looking for something else to do, because then like potentially someone could overtake you, right? Or could compete, right? And then again, you have to be like, no, if someone's better than me, then that means that there's room for me to improve, right? Because if you're at the top, you don't know where else to go. You've tried other things. But if people are doing better than you, there's like something that maybe they have that you don't know, right? And that came from Sam Walton's book, right? When he was studying the Brazil supermarket, he was crawling on his feet, measuring the distance, because even though he had $1 billion business, something about this Brazil supermarket was doing better than any store he's seen. And so maybe they knew something. Right, so always be willing to share and not hoard knowledge, so that if maybe their brain can interpret things better than you, right, and don't have such a freaking ego and be like, if this guy's better than me, maybe he thought of it, something that I haven't thought of, right? Like, stop holding yourself back by not sharing, right? It's just absurd. So that's my advice for you guys. Use those systems or don't use them. I found it easy to scale my business, or easier to scale. It's still kind of hard to do it. But yeah, Alan F. Ready. See you guys.